Hey guys, welcome back to It's Now or Never. This is season 2, episode 4. And once again, I'm filming an episode and I have no clue what the heck I'm going to name it. So, again, the name of this episode is TBD, but I think we're going to name it somewhere around loving yourself and learning to embrace others. I know that sounds super corny, so I don't think that's going to be the name of this episode. But let's get into it, guys, okay? I feel like I haven't talked to you guys in forever, but it was literally last week. It's crazy, crazy. I love actually being able to consistently push out episodes for you guys. I feel like I have my life together now, which is amazing. I encourage you guys to try it. But anywho, let's get into this episode of today, okay? Before we get into this episode, actually, I want to touch on next week. We are going to have a very special guest. It is a surprise right now, but it is going to be like a Valentine's Day themed edition episode, whatever that is. If you haven't listened to last episode, I talked to my mommy. I had my first ever guest on my podcast, which was absolutely amazing. And guys, my boyfriend helped us film the episode. It's so funny. If you go watch the YouTube video, you can or if you watch the video on Spotify, you can see him in the reflection of the fireplace behind us. It's really funny. But that was a super long episode. We got in deep on a lot of different things and I just love it. I'm probably going to have my mom on again soon because I just love all the amazing advice that she has to offer to people. She's been through so much and has so much to share. But anywho, let's get into this episode, okay? Loving yourself and learning to embrace others. I struggle with trying to figure out, oh my God, what am I going to talk about next? Because I feel like being a podcaster is hard because weekly episodes is a lot sometimes. You have to come up with new content every single time. And I'm not just sitting here talking about myself every time. I'm not just sharing what's going on in my life. I'm coming up with content to give and bring to you guys. And so sometimes I listen to a lot of podcasts on my own. And so there are times that I just feel so compelled and inspired by episodes I listen to from other people. And I have talked about Leo so many times on here and his podcast, Aware and Aggravated, which I absolutely love. I love listening to Leo. He's awesome. But I listened to this episode a few days ago and the stuff that he said on it was amazing. I love everything he said. I agree with it. And it was honestly something I need to hear. And then I actually talked about it. I talked about this topic with an old friend that I saw today at the coffee shop, which is awesome. And we had this long conversation about life and how we think life works, how we think life should work, how we think your outlook should be on life. If you're listening to this, you know who I'm talking to. But it was an awesome conversation. Awesome. But he kind of brought up this fact of my friend I was talking to, that we live in a competitive world when we should be living in a collaborative world, okay? And so Leo brings up this cancel out theory. We think things in our life cancel each other out. So let's say, for example, he brought up this example of, you walk into a room and you feel like the prettiest person there. You feel like you are a 10 out of 10, the best looking person in this room. Another girl walks in and she's drop dead gorgeous. This girl is a 10 out of 10. Oh my God. You think this girl's prettier than you. That doesn't just because she's gorgeous and hot and pretty too does not make you a 0. Just because she's a 10 out of 10 doesn't make you a 2. Does that make sense? Just because okay, I'm a data analytics major. So I'm around all these crazy smart people. And I think I'm a relatively smart person, but if I'm next to someone who I think is a freaking genius, it just makes me feel stupid. Just because this person is really smart doesn't make me dumb. Why am I not good freaking job to that person. Good job that they're smart. Good job to that girl that she is. Congrats for her that she's just drop dead gorgeous. And people try to compete with money. So, let's say that you have $10 million. Okay. But this person comes in and they have $20 million. That doesn't make you poor. Like, like just because that person has more money than you doesn't make you have less money than you have. Like if you truly think that, like your optics are messed up, you need to fix that for yourself. Okay? If you cannot see that $10 million is a lot of freaking money, okay? Like, good job for that person that they have more money than you. Good freaking job. Like, that does not make you less than just because you think somebody's better than you. We spend so much trying to compete with others and compete against the people around us and be the best that we turn into takers. And I don't know if I've talked about this in a previous episode or not. I attended this class last semester and it was called Interpersonal Skills. Amazing class. If you're at Oklahoma State, amazing class. But in the first few weeks of this class, this teacher talked about, he brought up the concept of givers, takers, and matchers. And which one are you? And so we went through this whole lesson about, what are givers, what are takers, what are matchers. I think it's pretty self-explanatory, but givers obviously give to people. Takers take, they don't give. And matchers is kind of like a tit for tat. Like, I will give this to you if you do something for me. I'll scratch your back if you scratch mine. And so it's really interesting to think about, which one are you? How are you acting in this point in time? But he also talks about who's most represented where. Who is most represented at the top of the pyramid? Who ends up at the top the most? Givers. Because, if you give to other people not expecting something in return, but like if you make somebody, if you help someone out, they're going to want to help you out eventually. But it's not that you're doing something in hopes that this person does something for you, Like, I'm going to give you a ride to this meeting because I just want to help you, not like I'm going to give you a ride to this meeting if you give me a ride to next week's meeting, expecting something in return. But givers give to people selflessly. So givers end up at the top because they make those around them feel better. Takers, yes, they will be successful, but only to a certain extent because people start to realize that these people are only in it for themselves. People like people that make them feel good about themselves. And then we ask ourselves, okay, who is most represented at the bottom of the pyramid? Givers. Again, doesn't make sense, right? No. But givers are most represented at the bottom because there are some givers that give so selflessly that they're jeopardizing themselves. Like, there was this one example of Sally's going to work, okay? And she notices that the lady across the street needs help. She needs to be taken to the hospital, and her son can't do it because her son's a deadbeat. He doesn't help out. So she decides, hey, you know what? I'm going to take this lady across the street. I'm going to take her to the hospital. I'm going to be late for work. Because she did that, she was late for work and she got fired. Okay, she's helping someone else, but at her own expense. So we kind of have to be weary of jeopardizing ourselves, but at the same time, you can't be afraid to help others. It's a really hard topic to explain, but once you understand, it's really interesting to me. But again, it's really important to embrace everyone else's strengths and embrace everyone else's insecurities, especially your own, okay? As a girl, I do this, and I will admit that I do this, and I know other people do it. You can admit it or not. A girl will walk into a room. If she is gorgeous, I hate her. I am intimidated by her. I do not want to be her friend. I automatically do not like this girl. And that's what girls do. That is how girls act. I don't know if guys are like that, but girls, it's like, if I think she's better than me, I automatically do not like her because I feel intimidated by her. I am jealous of her. I'm jealous of the things she has. This girl's skinnier than me. I don't like her. She's prettier than me. I don't like her. She's in the top sorority. I don't like her. Why do we do that to ourselves? It's literally our own insecurities. Okay? This girl is skinnier than me. Yeah, I'm jealous of her for that because I'm insecure in my own body. It all comes down to the fact that you don't actually love yourself. once you're able to love yourself and embrace yourself, like, you can have insecurities, but once you embrace those, you'll be so much happier, and you will not find yourself anymore being jealous of other people and trying to compete with them. Because it just creates this ongoing cycle, and you'll never actually be happy with yourself, and you'll never be good enough. There's always somebody that's going to look better than you. There's always somebody that's going to have more money than you. There's always somebody that's going to be smarter than you, that's going to have a better job than you, so on and so forth. Okay? You cannot continue to try to compete with other people. That is not, in my opinion, that is not what this life is about. It is not about being the best of the best. Yes, you can want to win. You can want to be the best at something, but you should not devote your whole life trying to be better than everyone else around you. It's really hard to compare playing fields. It's really hard to compare circumstances. Let's say I don't get a lot of sleep one night because I had a death in the family. I've had a really hard night, and I have a test the next day. Barely was able to study for it because I had so much stuff going on, and I got a C. But Susie next to me, she's been studying for a week because she's had nothing going on in her life, and she gets an A. Like, why is that fair for me to compare that score to hers when she had a completely different circumstance than mine? She was able to study. I wasn't. I had other stuff going on in my life. I had other personal things that stopped me from being able to do that. So, like, let's say that a girl in your class, okay, she has these really awesome shoes that you want. She, whatever. She has these really awesome, like, $500 shoes that you want. You want those. Those are like the coolest shoes ever. And you think that she's so awesome for that. And so you're insecure in yourself because you have these cheap $100 shoes, whatever, which, I'm sorry, $100 shoes aren't cheap. But why are you not just grateful for what you have? And why are you being jealous of her? Her parents could have bought those for her. Like, if your parents can't afford those, like, whatever, like, her parents could have bought those for her. Those could be fake. We don't understand. There could be somebody walking on the street and they look like they are dressed like $1 million. They look like they have so much money. They could be spending every dollar in their bank account. When you could see somebody else that's dressed very conservatively, they're wearing just normal clothes, they could be the one with millions of dollars. And you just don't know. You cannot compare people based on optics. I don't think you can compare people whatsoever. I don't think you should be comparing yourself to others. Because the other thing is that we will devote our lives trying to get something that someone else has. Because we want to be like someone else. And I talked about this in my first season. But we cannot spend our lives trying to be like other people because we will never actually fulfill what is meant for us. We will never actually be able to go down that path that is meant for us because we're so focused on what everybody else has. Once you actually embrace yourself, you become in touch with who you are, then you'll be able to realize, this is right for me. This doesn't feel right for me. And then it'll be easier for you to actually be able to successfully go down that path that you're meant to be on. You might not know what that path looks like. You may not know, you may think like, I'm going to be a doctor. My whole life I've wanted to be a doctor, and I'm going to go to med school and I'm going to do all this stuff. You have your life planned out. You could actually supposed to be, maybe it's that you're meant to be a teacher, but you are too blind and you're too out of touch to realize that what you've been devoting your whole life to do is not actually what's meant for you. It could be because you felt the pressure to do it, or it could be because you watch Grey's Anatomy and you want to be just like them, or it could be because you want to make so much money. Like, maybe that's not actually your purpose. And so you're going to go down that path. You're going to become that doctor. You're going to go to med school. You're going to do all these things. Yeah, maybe you'll make a lot of money one day. You'll be able to send your kids to college. You'll be able to buy a house. But you're not going to be happy. And maybe that's something for you to decide. Maybe you don't want to be happy in life. Maybe you'd just rather have more money because you think that money makes you happy. Yes, it's easier to do fun things when you have money, but Money is not the root of happiness. You can be the richest man in the world and be so unhappy and dissatisfied with your life. Do you really want to live that kind of life? Or you can be someone with $5 in your bank account, but you could be so grateful for the life that you live because you're appreciative of the things around you, because you're fulfilled in what you do. That is why we're here. We're not here to be envious and be jealous of what others have. We're not here to, do things selfishly. We're not we are not on this earth to only do things for monetary value. You want to spend your life doing what it is that you want to do, doing what it is that you feel like your purpose is, what your calling is. And you might not have any clue what that is at this point in time. You might not have any clue what that path looks like and how you're going to get there or what that end point is, but you're here for the journey, and the journey is what matters. The journey is the fun part. If you live your life, chasing after this goal and you get it, what are you going to do after that? My life goal is to graduate college, okay? So I spend these 4 years, I graduate college. That's all I've wanted to do in life. What am I going to do after that? What else do I have? All I want in life is I want this Lamborghini, okay? I want this Lamborghini. So I'm going to spend the next 15 years chasing after the money so I can get this Lamborghini, so I can buy this car. Okay, once you buy the car, what are you supposed to do next? What else is there? Aren't you happy? You have what you've wanted for the past 15 years. Aren't you happy? No, because then you're going to want more. You're always going to want something else. So why not just fall in love with the journey? Don't fall in love with the results. Fall in love with the journey. That's where you're going to seek the happiness from. Because then, the results, the happiness from that's going to last what? A few weeks, maybe? Okay, I spent my whole life trying to become this doctor. Well, once I'm actually a doctor, I hate it. I don't even like my job. Do something you love, fall in love with the journey, chase after it, and once you get it, okay, be grateful for it, seek fulfillment in it, be satisfied, and then figure out, what else is there now? What is my next calling? What is my next purpose? And just that path. It all comes down to becoming in touch with yourself and finding who you are. Once you find out who you are, you'll be equipped with better decision-making skills, because you'll be able to say, this seems like something I would do. This seems like something for me, or something about what I'm doing with my life just doesn't feel right. I'm not happy. So, okay, I'm going to stop and I'm going to do something else. I'm going to figure out what it is. I'm going to take a little break and I'm going to figure out what it is. I'm going through this phase in my life. I have spent so long doing so many different types of things, and I didn't really realize what am I actually supposed to be doing with my life. And last semester I did so many different kinds of things, and now this semester I'm really narrowing it down. And there's things in my life that don't provide me with that fulfillment anymore. I don't feel like I'm fulfilling a purpose. I'm not finding happiness from it at all. And it has nothing to do with who I am anymore or where I want to go. And so it's tough, but I have to make the hard decision. Is this something I'm going to continue with and continue giving my energy to when it's all it's doing is taking energy from me? Why am I still doing something that's not for me? Is it because I feel a pressure to? I don't want to let these people down because I feel an obligation to? Because I feel like I have to prove it to people? There is something in my life that for the past few months, it's just been taking energy. It has been sucking the energy out of me. I hate it. I don't like the people. I don't like what I do. It causes me stress. But I'm not quitting because I'm not a quitter. That's it. Just for my name's sake, I'm not quitting. Because I'm not someone that gives up. But this thing, it has nothing to do with what I want to do in life. It's not giving me fulfillment. I don't even want to be a part of it. But I'm still doing it. But now I know I'm not going to continue with this after the semester. I'm done. That's it. That's it for me. I learned. But I have to have the discipline to be able to say, I'm not going to continue doing this. I figured out this isn't my thing. I'm not going to continue after this. I'm going to finish this time off and I'm going to finish. That's it. I'm going to close the book on that next chapter. Okay? And then I'm going out and I'm actively seeking out things that interest me, that intrigue me, things that, oh, hey, that sounds like something I might like. Maybe I should try that. Maybe I could talk to somebody about that. Maybe I should see what that's all about. Maybe it's something that piques my interest. Maybe that's something that's going to help me down this path of life, okay? I love marketing. Marketing is super fun. But I'm a double major, okay? I'm marketing communications and I'm data analytics, which kind of is two different worlds. Data analytics is almost computer science. And I really embrace this marketing side of me because it's easy, it's fun, it's creative, all that kind of stuff. But there's this data analytics nerd side of me that I haven't embraced yet. And I feel like I haven't embraced it because I feel like a nerd. I'm embarrassed of it. I'm embarrassed that I like numbers. I'm embarrassed I like to work with computers and do data. But you know what? There's this opportunity I got to learn this new data tool, and it's on Thursday. And you know what? I don't know anybody in this club, but I'm going to go. It's the Data Analytics Club, and I'm going to learn this new data analytics tool, and I'm going to go by myself. But you know what? I'm going to freaking love it because I'm learning something new. I'm helping myself down my path, and I'm contributing to a passion of mine. And you know what? And if people think I'm weird, screw them. And why am I embarrassed of it? Because I'm a nerd? Because I'm smart? Because I like numbers? Because I do something that's hard? I should be proud of myself. And you know what? I'm going to get there and I'm going to learn this new thing and I'm going to feel like an idiot because I don't know how to do it. And there's going to be someone next to me that knows exactly how to do it. I'm going to feel stupid. But you know what? Good for them. Because then you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to ask them to be my friend and I'm going to ask them to help me because they know more than me. And because I want to know what they know. They seem like they're good at this. Okay, then I'm going to recruit them to help me become better at this. Because this is something I like. And I've noticed that this person is an expert in that field. And I'm going to embrace their strengths. And you know what? Maybe they're going to say, hey, Alex, I really want to get into working out. I see that you know a lot about this kind of stuff. Can you help me with that? See, look at that. That is somebody embracing somebody else's strengths. And that's me embracing my weaknesses. I'm not that great at this. I'm going to ask someone to help me. So, if that's inspiring at all to you, I hope it is. But it's a super short episode for today. But I really just, I felt compelled to talk about this, about, learning to be okay and to be confident and to embrace who you are. Embrace your insecurities. Like, honestly, just because you're, nobody cares that much. Nobody cares that much about the things you're insecure about. I'm insecure about my ears. Do you think people really notice my ears? Do you think people see my ears and they go home and they think about Alex's ears? Oh my gosh, Alex's ears are so weird. Or, oh my gosh, Alex's nose is a little crooked. And they lay in bed at night thinking about how crooked my nose is. What? Seriously? Or I saw cellulite when Alex sat down today. She has cellulite on her thighs. So then they go home and they think about it. All day they think about the cellulite I have on my thighs. Somebody else, you really think someone does that? You really think they care enough? The only person that notices and cares that much about your insecurities is you. It's you. So you need to get over it and embrace it. Yeah, you could still be insecure about it, but embrace it. Be okay with it. Be okay with it and applaud other people for the things that they're good at. Okay? With that being said, I'm going to wrap up today's episode. I have to go to worship with my roommates, but thank you for listening, guys. If you want to keep up with us, follow us on Instagram, inon.pod, and on YouTube, it's now or never pod on YouTube. Keep up with that. And if you want to submit a question, go to alexandriawillard.com/submit a question. You can ask me a question for me to read on the next episode. With that, there's also a poll at the bottom of this episode if you're listening on Spotify. Hit that poll. Let me know what you think about this episode. And past that, I love you guys. Have an amazing week, and I will see you guys on Valentine's Day, okay? Mwah!